time in joining us here on the channel. We have some breaking news coming out of the World Economic Forum once again. And in Davos, the French President Emmanuel Macron made sharp remarks regarding the growing tensions between the United States and its allies. Speaking candidly about the looming possibility of economic confrontations, Macron warned that Europe might be forced to use the anti-coercion instrument against the US, a tool designed to counter economic pressures. Macron emphasized the absurdity of threatening allies with tariffs, especially in the light of the strong partnerships that exist between the nations. He remarked that such an approach does not align with the principles of mutual respect and cooperation, urging the US to avoid using coercion as a diplomatic tool. He concluded, "We prefer respect over bullies," a statement that underscores Europe's desire for fair and respectful negotiations in global trade and diplomacy. Of course, this comes as Donald Trump is threatening tariffs upon European partners, a 10% coming into effect on February the 1st. 8 nations affected: the United Kingdom, France, Norway, Finland, Germany, and others. Of course, this will follow with a 25% tariff on the 1st of June if the European countries in question don't adhere to Donald Trump's Greenland policy, from which he wants to either buy or annex the island by force. Of course, he hasn't specified about his action when it comes to the island. However, it is certain that he does indeed desire it to become a full part of the United States, something which both Denmark and the Greenlandic people categorically reject. Okay. Of course, this is some strong words by the French President Emmanuel Macron. He has been criticized by Donald Trump because of his words when it comes to this issue. Andrew, thank you very much for joining us once again at such short notice. This speech by Macron at the World Economic Forum, he is using pretty harsh words towards Donald Trump and his administration when it comes to the tariffs. He's calling the United States bullies, saying that they prefer respect over the method that the United States is showing. And also, of course, warned of the usage of this anti-coercion instrument that the EU has in its inventory. What more can you tell us about the stance which Macron is taking and the anti-coercion instrument that he's talking about?
Well, the anti-coercion instrument, first of all, hasn't been used, to my knowledge, ever before, and it's really about if an American firm wants to put in a bid for a contract in Europe for a variety of different services, including, by the way, social media and information technology, and that the Europeans can block that. Right now, the U.S. has a huge surplus with the Europeans, so that could hurt certain American interests that have the American president's ear as well. Beyond that, though, Macron is of a piece with von der Leyen in this respect. They have an agenda, political agenda, and that is to attenuate to some extent the transatlantic dimension of their security and focus on Europeanizing that in the context of European NATO, in the context of the European Union. And the idea there, as Macron often says, is strategic autonomy, that France, leading a more independent European Union, would be pursuing its own security and not have to kowtow, as it were, to the Americans, not have to genuflect in the direction of Washington. And von der Leyen obviously has an interest in that as well, in terms of building the European Union into something it was never intended to be, which was a European NATO. That's not in its DNA, but that certainly is where she and Macron would like it to go. So it's not surprising that they have both seized on this opportunity to advance their own particular political agenda, Will it go anywhere? I doubt it. The Europeans aren't up to it at the moment, and it will be decades before they really are. Whether they like it or not, they are joined at the hip with the United States and Canada and North America, and they need to make the best of that. And this kind of rhetoric, whether it comes from Paris or Brussels or Washington or Ottawa for that matter, is unhelpful and counterproductive in terms of their security interests.
Andrew Latham, once again, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you on the programme, as always. We now move